We're ready.
Okay. All right. I'll call to order the Greenwood Redevelopment Commission on this, the 13th day of October of 2020. It is 4:34. Sorry, we're getting started a little late. If I could, please have roll call.
Mr. Hopper,
I'm here.
Mr. Hoover,
Here.
Mr. Harris,
Present.
Mr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. Moan. Mr. Moan appears to be absent. Non-voting advisor, Mr. Alexander. Mr. Alexander appears to be absent as well.
He might be on fall break, just like I am. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a quorum. The four of us here. First thing, approval of minutes from our September 8th meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Campbell. Is there a second?
Harris, second.
Second by Mr. Harris. Thank you, sir. Any questions, additions, deletions, corrections from anyone? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right. Minutes are approved 4-0. New business resolution 2020-13, additional appropriation resolution. It says this is postponed. The most recent version I have, anyway. Is that correct?
Yes, unless Mr. Watson wants to speak.
Okay.
When I advertised it, I mistakenly just blanked out that we were doing virtual meetings, and I did not advertise it correctly for a public hearing. So we need to push it to November so it's properly advertised.
Okay. All right. Old business, none. Boy, we're going to fly right through this, aren't we, today?
Don't jinx it.
Yeah. Looking at you, Mr. Steinmetz. All right. Capital project report, Old City Park, consideration of change order number 9.
Yeah, so hopefully you all made it to the park. It's pretty fun, unless you're on fall break, which I'm sure is also fun. This is just again, kind of summing up everything where you had minor change orders throughout the project. Still well within, where we wanted to be, which is normally 10% on projects in Old Town. Again, invite everyone to stop by.
Mute myself. Does anybody have any questions for Kevin? All right, hearing none. Is there a motion to approve change order number 9?
Hoover, so moved.
Motion by Mr. Hoover. Is there a second?
Harris, a second.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. All right, any further questions or discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Change order number 9 is approved 4-0. Greenwood Fieldhouse project, consideration of contract with Tailored Systems.
Yeah, so I can speak to this too on behalf of Rob Taggart and Rick Jones in the IT department with video surveillance and IT wiring and all the lovely things that come with that. Intercom system was designed in place.
Is anyone else having some trouble hearing?
Yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of feedback. If we could maybe mute everybody but Kevin right now, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that appears to be Kevin Hoover.
Why is that me?
I'll speak up.
I think it was coming from Mr. Hoover. All right, we're good to go now, I think.
So the Fieldhouse, that was the IT that was developed or designed in concert with the architect, I was asked to speak for Rob and Rick Jones on this. This includes all the cameras, the cabling, and door access control, etc., paging. I don't have a total on that, Amanda. There are subtotals in the paperwork that was presented. but I don't have it aggregated up. Apologize for that. Rick,
I believe when I totaled it up, it was 104,000 and some odd dollars was the number we were looking at for a total cost.
Okay, and so we would pay for that from either the bond proceeds for the field house or the central TIF, as best seen fit by the controller and outside financial counsel. This is kind of what we're doing at all the new projects, getting video cameras and stuff in right from the beginning for the, and then of course always the basic IT systems, Wi-Fi, etc.
Thanks, Kevin. Anybody have any questions for Kevin on that? Let's see, what's next?
Yeah, there are 3 separate totals, is that correct? 3 separate amounts listed in the agreement?
Yeah, and since it's over 100,000, it will need the 2 meeting rule, which is fine because we're nowhere near putting these in. So if we can just, this can serve as the introduction. You don't even have to vote, and we can put it on the next agenda in November for the vote.
It was actually broken down into 4 totals for the structured cabling, the door access, the video surveillance, and the overhead paging for a total cost of $104,036.09.
Yeah, so
Thank you, Amanda.
If it's okay with the commission, let's just have this serve as the, even though it was broken up, serve as the introduction because we're not at the point for IT yet, and we can bring it back in November and get the actual vote on it.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Anybody else? All right. 523 South Madison Avenue project site, consideration of surveying services with Crossroads Engineers.
Yeah, we haven't had something new for a while here, so we're getting ready to start slowly easing back into some new projects here. This one is obviously moving forward on the middle school site with this commission purchased and is seeking to enter into a redevelopment project agreement with private firms. This allows us to have the entire area surveyed. There's been a lot of work done around there, and we'll include the field house when it's done, which will be key for how we offer it up. And then since they were already going to be out there for this, we added on an area that has been often talked about in terms of future redevelopment, and the city owns some parcels on, but there's not good surveying out there at all, and that is the Market Plaza extension, to that little extension that goes from Market Plaza to Main Street. It's a lot less expensive to tag on additional areas to a survey than keep reissuing them. So the idea was, hey, let's just get it kind of that area of Old Town surveyed as it is and ready to go after all these changes over the past 5 or 6 years for new projects. That's 29,800, and that is Crossroad. They had done the Serena Way project in the roundabout, so they actually have some of the data points from the as-builts, so they could do it cheaper than just bringing in someone cold.
Any questions for Kevin on that?
That'd be payable from the central TIF. Sorry.
Central. All right, fine. All right. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve that.
Second.
Trifecta, Harris will approve.
All right. All right. Second by Mr. Harris. I'm taking that as. Any further discussion from the commission? All right. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right. All right. Consideration of surveying services approved 4-0. Madison Avenue Streetscape Phase 3.
Yeah, so this is an amendment to the professional service contract paid for by the Fry Road TIF. It's REA, and underneath them GAI, which is an engineering firm who's responsible for most of this cost. The reality is that there are utilities everywhere on Madison. As we started staking and doing construction, we found many more places the utilities didn't even know they had them. And so this required redesign of stormwater structures, some shifting of a couple things, nothing that would impact the project, but more work for engineers. It's why we kind of waited about a month until after when the project was signed to get going. And so we had to do a lot more flagging and staking. And so this is the change order for $23,150 to accommodate all that redesign and extra utility coordination the firms had to do. As I mentioned before in this meeting, I think every utility, past, present, and maybe even future, has multiple lines on Madison Avenue.
Any other questions for Kevin? All right, is there a motion to approve?
Hoover, I'll move for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Hoover. Is there a second?
Second by Mr. Campbell.
Second by Mr. Campbell. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion from the commission? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion approved, 4-0. Financial report, tax increment update.
Yep. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you loud and clear, Adam.
Great. Yeah, just a quick update with regards to your spring tax increment finance settlement. So just as a bit of a refresher, as you all know, with the governor's executive order back in May at the height of all the COVID-19 items, there was a 60-day waiver of late fees, of paying taxes late for, and a fair amount of taxpayers in various TIFs took advantage of that time. And so a lot of those entities had, instead of May 15th deadline, they had a July 15th deadline. Those taxes were paid, collected by the county auditor's office, and then through a request and some help with Mr. Watson and then the city controller, were able to request that advanced funding round. So we actually was received early of this month, October. So it's not reflective in your year-to-date revenues or fund balances that are actually in your financial report packet. But we did receive $2,100,461 in tax increment finance that really should have been paid out earlier this year. So that brought us much closer in line to our original estimates, and it's updated then our forecast for your fall tax settlement to be received in December. We're now estimating up to $5.7 million of tax increment finance remaining for the 2020 revenue year. So just wanted to provide that update that we've received it. We're still working through the parcel by parcel collection aspect of that, but wanted to provide that as it's a pretty material figure.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Anybody have any questions for Adam? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to department reports. Legal department, Mr. Hodson.
We have nothing to report.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Watson. You're still muted, Mr. Watson.
I always forget to do that. Sorry about that. What I have relates to the Oaken Barrel Incentive Project. And at the last meeting, you authorized the president to review and allow the Oaken Barrel owners, not BBC project owners, to not have to come in and provide an oral report if the written report was satisfactory. I did review it and advised Mr. Hopper that it was satisfactory. And so we did waive them off from giving an oral report. I will note just the highlights of the report from BBC for this year. They have indicated they have spent $2,646,000 on the redevelopment of that property to date. They have experienced an increase in their assessed value by a little over $900,000. It has increased from $1,106,000 in 2017 to what is now an assessed value of $2,014,800. So that's positive, obviously. They've also paid this past year $23,325 in property taxes. Their space is mostly full. They have total rentable space of 28,824 square feet, and only 933 square feet of that is not under lease right now, although they have a pending offer on that right now. And then their full-time equivalent employees started out at the beginning of the project at 44, and it is now at 48, and they recognize that a large part of that not increasing further is the COVID pandemic effects, which is certainly understandable. They report their average hourly wage for the employees on that project to have increased from what started at $27 an hour to what is now today $28.25 an hour. And then they finally report that the Oak and Barrel restaurant is still operating on the premises, and that is the key factor in terms of them staying in compliance or out of default. That's the key component of what they are required to do. I think it's for another 7 years. It's a total of 10 years that they've committed to have the Oak and Barrel restaurant operating there. And that's the highlights of their report.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
City Controller, Mr. Wright.
I have nothing for you.
All right, thank you, sir. City Engineer, Daniel Johnston, sir. I don't know if I saw Daniel on here or not.
Daniel is not here. He's on
All right.
vacation.
All right, Paul, we get you, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The first item, it's Worsville Road Section 2, and you probably know that's the portion that's currently under design. We're trying to get right away between Averitt Road and Honey Creek Road. So this item is for a reimbursable agreement to Bargersville Utilities, and this is at the very west end of the project, west of Honey Creek Road, where we're tying back in right before Cobblestone. They have an existing water line through that area, and there's an existing fire hydrant, and it's in an exclusive easement for Bargersville Water, so they're entitled to get reimbursed for their relocation efforts of that fire hydrant in that area. The dollar amount's $19,000, and so we're asking for consideration for the RDC to authorize this agreement. And it's currently set up for Daniel to sign, but we weren't too sure if maybe the RDC members want to sign this agreement, so we'd have to modify the agreement just a little bit.
I'd leave that up to Mr. Watson, whatever he thinks is best.
Typically, we would have the RDC president if the RDC is going to be the party, being the contractor. So I would recommend that be revised.
All right.
So Amanda, I assume what the legal department, would they be the ones that would revise that then, or? Yeah.
I'll confirm that Sergey has that, and we'll get it changed for signature.
Okay.
Is there a motion from the commission?
I'll move, this is Hoover, I'll move that we approve that, subject to being signed by Mr. Hopper.
Thank you, sir. There's second.
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Campbell. Any discussion from the commission? All right, all those in
Just
favor,
real
aye.
quick, Dave,
Yep, sorry.
Just a point of order. Just a point of order. Should you and I both sign that? We have before in the past. I just wanted to clarify that.
That is correct. Should be president and secretary.
Okay.
Make it so, Amanda.
Will do.
All right. Beam me up, Scotty. Okay, we have a first and a second. Hearing no further discussion. All those in favor, aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. All right, motion approved 4-0.
And just on a quick point to that, it occurs to me, I did not realize we had that agreement. I didn't realize till today that Sergey was working with Daniel on it. I will get it posted just so you can see the drawings and everywhere where Paul was discussing the easement.
All right, thank you.
I'll get it posted at Airpoint.
All right, Main Street and Airport Parkway.
Yes, this is out there near Oak and Barrel that Stephen was just talking about, across from right there at the Val Vista Country Club entrance. We've been working with A&F Engineering for plans for the installation of a traffic signal at that location. And we had thought all along for years that there was right of way in front of the Val Vista Country Club entrance. But I guess when that was developed in the county back in the 1970s and then taken over by the city, I believe in the mid 1980s, right of way was never dedicated actually to any governmental agency. So in order to construct the project properly with all the proper traffic loops and the signals and pavement modifications that need to be done on the south side, we need right of way from two parcels out there. One's for the main roadway in, that's a separate parcel. Then the parcel where the two ponds are on each side of the entrance, that's the second parcel. And we're wanting to obtain 60 feet and cross that entire area. And that will actually now include the trail or pathway that's been out there for several years. So it will be in this new right of way. So we've got a contract drawn up with Crossroad Engineers to prepare the legals and the exhibits for those two parcels at a cost of $1,500 each for a total of $3,000. They've already begun the work on those exhibits and legal descriptions, and we're asking that the RDC ratify that agreement for them to do that work.
Okay. Mr. Campbell, you appear to be talking, but you're muted.
What's the cost on that?
3,000, he said, I think.
Yeah, 3,000 total, yes.
You want to make the motion, Mr. Campbell?
Yes, I do. Motion to
All right.
approve that request.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Always nice to make sure we own our trails that we put out. I suppose
Yeah.
that'd be a good thing. All right. Any further discussion from the commission? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. All right. Motion approved 4-0. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Great. Mr. Mayor, anything from you, sir? Didn't see the mayor on here, but you never know.
I think he's out of town.
All right. The claims docket. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review it. It is for $832,764.18. And I will entertain a motion to approve. Don't everybody jump on it at once.
So how much was that again?
$832,764.18.
The one I have has got a different amount.
All right, that's the one that was in. I don't have the physical copy. That was the one that was in the shared drive. So let's make sure we got the right one here.
Yeah, because I just pulled it up off of SharePoint, and I got 825, 254.
Yeah, 825.
I see that, but then it says 832, 764.18 down at the.
Oh yeah.
The bottom. All right, so I guess we need to know what the right number is, Amanda. Which one are we voting on here?
I'm going to go with Greg. Which one is the right number? The RDC docket total? Greg, you're muted.
It kind of looks like it's got to be the 832 because we've got the 825 and then we're adding 6,800 and 600.
Yeah, there's two things together.
Amanda, if you could correct that by the time I get there next week to sign it, that would be amazing.
We will get it revised. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Do we have a motion to approve the higher amount, the 832?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Campbell.
And I'll second it. That's Hoover.
Second by Mr. Hoover. Thank you, sir. All right, any questions from the commission? All right,
Yeah,
hearing
yeah.
none. Yep, go ahead.
The only thing on that is, just so you guys know, your working papers totals the lower amount, the 825 number. The thing that follows the actual docket, your work papers. That total shows the 825 lower number.
That's
We've got
true.
the 685. Then we've got that twice. Let's see, 3 times. Plus the 68.
If you go to the very last page.
Well, I see that, but there's also.
Okay. Maybe some additions.
I see a grand total for the 825, but did that include the? That did not include the 685 and the 6800, did it, or did it not?
I just went back and looked in the record to be consistent with how finance has done it. We need to have them amend the page. They put the total of whatever wire they or fund they have to pay out of as the number you're approving, not just the docket number or paperwork that may have been sent to you. So
We'll get that.
we need to have it the front page amended to that 832 764, I believe.
Yeah, the first page has that on there. It's the very last number, but
it's in we're talking about the top line, Mr. Harris.
Top line, gotcha.
Yeah, where it says all 3 claims total.
But Brian's talking about the rest of it, the 19 pages or 18 pages that follow. The grand total at the end is the 825 number, and I think that includes the 685 and the 6800.
Yeah, the 685 is on the first page, first 3 pages, and
so
then
that's a grand total, and then the
6825 is the next few pages, and then it goes into the 300 or the 800,000.
Okay. That makes sense.
It is a little different to understand it, unlike the spreadsheet that we used to get on the Excel sheet that just listed it. So I agree. I'm still learning this, and we're 10 months in.
Yeah, I like that old sheet.
All right. Is everybody clear now? Clear as mud, probably.
Yeah, we're voting on the higher amount, right?
We're voting on the higher amount. Yep.
Okay.
All right. And I believe we had a first and a second for Mr. Campbell and Mr. Hoover. So all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, nay. All right. I think we approved it 4-0. Any other business before the commission that anybody might have? All right. Hearing none, we will adjourn at 5:02. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Mr. Hopper.
Enjoy your trip,
Thanks,
your
Gonna
vacation.
try to. Everybody be safe up there.
All right.